try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check is I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check is I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Easy, you don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High high ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep, only scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. And when they try to change, you can say no, free me.
What's going on? Angels representing for the Grey Pill Podcast. Okay, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, definitely hit the notification so you can get updated on every new thing current and moving forward. Okay, we're gonna have, if you've seen the thumbnail, we're gonna have a great conversation with you. We're gonna see how this works out. Now, the topic is about fear and respect. I saw a little clip from my fellow influence guy out there, you know, from the Manosphere. Shout out to him in the red pill space, where he talks about and discuss you know, advocating for men and letting the ladies know what place they should be at. And it was an interesting clip where he gives a story about fear and respect, and a lot of comments in there was very I felt like it was very biased, and I just this is my take on it. I felt it was very biased. I felt like, you know, you have your hero, you know, let's say He-Man or G.I. Joe, and somebody come to tell me like, hey, I think Skeletor is better than He-Man. No. Now we got to fight because I'm stuck on that, right? So fear and respect. What is fear and what is respect? Okay, for me, when I just think about respect, I feel like it's something that's earned. I feel like your character, your morals, you know, even just automatically. We talked about that before. If you scroll down, we had a conversation about what do we accept, fear and love. You know, which one comes first, which one you rather have in the basis of relationship. So I think this kind of lines up a little bit with just, you know, just general respect when it comes to relationship. You know, just like a stranger down the street. You know, I'm going to respect him like you respect me instantly, you know. Now, what is fear? To me, fear is something that's pretty much, you know, I feel like that's a weakness for most people. And we're gonna chop that down, but I will give the definition for that. So let me share this real quick, okay? And shout out to Papi Blanco, because it was something, I feel like he's going to have the perfect timing when he says certain things. And maybe, you know what, God is good. I don't want to put the whole Jesus quote in there, but we had a conversation a little bit, and he made a comment. You know, he gave his thoughts and takes about me to certain things, and I start laughing, you know, instantly, because the age I am now, I know if I can't be that close to you, you know, I might act a certain way. But guess what? I respect him enough. He always be on the square, whether he could be wrong, whether he can be right. He say what he says, and he means it, right? And it's not a fear thing. It's a respect. He always says what's on his mind, always, and I respect him for that. So I appreciate you for you being you, even though I think that you're wrong most of the time. But you know what? You're still my bro. But I'm gonna go ahead and share this this definition here of respect, and then we're gonna show a clip of Andrew Tate. And since it's the guys panel, we're gonna have that conversation. Okay. All right. Make sure everybody can see it. Okay, again, so what is respect? Because for me, I think it's two different words, two different definitions. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the comment section was thinking that is aligned with the two, and some people felt like, you know, it's with the clip, it was just more of the respect. It's not fear, it's not trauma, it's not nothing. So we're going to dive deep on that. So what is respect? It's feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Okay. Now we're going to see what is fear. All right, fear. What is fear? A noun, an unpleasant emotion caused by unpleasant emotion Sound like a YouTube talking point. They don't like you saying them words. They don't like you saying those words emotion. All right, so carry on. An unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, unlikely to cause pain, or a threat. He is a prey. Irrational fears. All right. So let me know what y'all think about that. What do y'all think is a fear? What do y'all think is a respect? Do y'all think is one or the other? Do you think it's two? Okay. So again, I appreciate y'all for coming in. Shout out to Sweet Melody. Always, she's a great supporter. Same thing like for us for Grateful Podcast for her end, with her and Classic Ruby. She had us both on as a guest. Me and Meek over there had a great conversation. Hopefully one day, Melody, if you and Classic Ruby have some time, we can work something out. Y'all can come over here and have a great conversation for the ladies panels. Shout out to Miss Jill. Appreciate you always. Peace, love. We'll be there for a great conversation in about 30 to 40 minutes. So I will not be late. I might change just for your show for peace, love. Shout out to Vega. I appreciate you always. She shouted out for Poppy. Yeah, Poppy's gonna be Poppy regardless. Shout out to, I think we got a new subscriber. I appreciate you, Topaz. Miss Topaz, appreciate you. Miss D, like always. All right, so we're gonna bring the fellas out here, and we're gonna have this conversation. We have my man Thanos, first time ever coming up to the Grey Pill Podcast. You can let us know about yourself. Before you do, Thanos, man, I see this brother in a lot of spaces. I think he's a very chill and collective guy, very level-headed with a lot of his thoughts and perspectives. So thank you, brother, for coming on out. So introduce yourself.
Hey, man, Thanos, of course, like you said, definitely like to come on spaces. You see me in a lot of other spaces that's probably not everyone's flavor. Definitely trying to make some changes and start building. You know, it's good entertainment, but it's time to start getting some work done. Definitely. The way the world shaped up, yeah, we got to definitely start getting some stuff done because, you know, like my name say, it's a lack of resources out there, and we got to start getting some stuff done.
Okay. Now I got to ask you one thing, brother, because I've been thinking about this for a long time. How'd you come up with the name Thanos? Thanos theory.
Because, you know, based off the movie, you know, and I always had this joke, Thanos was right. It's a lack of resources, and a lot of people are sitting around waiting for someone to spoon feed them. You know, it's like, let's not take things serious. Let's not read. Let's not educate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? When you do go back and reach back, even including my family, you know, they just think they have all the time in the world until it's too late. So everybody's not going to make it, and I just take it on the chin that, hey, everybody's not going to make it. It's not my responsibility to take care of others. I help those who are willing to help themselves. So it's not that I'm completely separating myself, but I can't over leverage myself and start messing up my own, you know, my own grind. You know,
fair enough.
So that's about it. So
fair enough.
I'm also a vet, you know, just in case, you know, the others, you know, like yourself and L Nixon. So
okay, appreciate that, man.
What up, bro?
And what's going on, L Nixon, the voice of reason? I don't think nobody want to hear reasons, man. I'm about the common sense. I don't think they want to hear the reasons.
So you know what? You know what? And that's definitely true. People don't. You know what I mean? Like that. The name I was given that name, but people really don't. And oftentimes it gets frustrating because, you know, like I said, I've been in period of growth for the last few years. You know what I'm saying? As far as a man, so y'all hear it. Y'all hear it in what I say, as far as what men have to do, so we can make the changes, so we don't have to put it on other people. You know, I'm not bashing men. You know, I'm for the bros, and I'm not letting women get a pass. Like, what women gonna do what they do. But you know, I found out in this space that, you know, the lie is more entertaining than the truth. You know, people want narratives, they want entertainment. So, you know, if you move a certain type of way, they don't want to see that. They'd rather strip you down because this is not a place for healing for most people. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly entertainment. So we talk about solutions, but you know, sometimes you find out that a lot of people, there's options. There's places you can go for it, but they don't want that. They really want the entertainment mostly anything.
And I'm glad it's one thing you said in the beginning. You said I didn't name myself, I was given the name. That's the same thing I had with, but I had people will come and jump at me. Like I was on platform before I even came to this space where I was on another person platform where I'm like, yo, I just want to be on, just have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I was begging for, I just want to talk, just want to talk. And I have so many, and one was King, one was Hubby, one was, just stuff like that. And I never asked for those names, but I got them. So shout out to you, man, for just, again, keeping it real, and people just putting a crown on you when you didn't ask for it.
But bro, sometimes I'll be wanting to edit my name and just put L, because sometimes I just be wanting just like, yo, y'all, you start to get on my nerves.
Hey man, they give me that crown. You got the rocket sometime. Serve the people. Serve the people.
I feel you though.
All right. And my brother from another mother. Can you hear us, Deuce?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're good, man.
All right, awesome.
All right. What's up, Deuce? Anybody that know Deuce? Deuce be on Great Pill Podcast a lot. Have these great conversations. It's like my brother from another mother. Go ahead and introduce yourself to Deuce. And also, yes, Miss Creative is in the chat. So there you go, Miss Creative. I brought Deuce back just for you, Miss Creative, just for you.
What up, Deuce? What's up, man?
Everybody. Hey, hi, Miss Creative. I got a message saying that you said hi, so I wanted to say hi. Deuce, one half of the Toxic Twins podcast. I'm a twin, so my brother and I are developing our own podcast, and we'll let y'all know when we start streaming.
Okay, that's what's up. I appreciate you, man. Just if you can tweak just your volume just a little bit up, that'll help out. Once you feel
better?
Just a tad. Say something again.
Is that better?
Just a little bit down, a little bit lower.
Is that better?
A little bit lower.
Better.
Lower.
Test 1, 2, 3.
A little bit lower.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay,
3.
cool. All right, now back up away from it. Just back up away from it a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, we
perfect.
good.
All right, no kissing the mic. All right, and last but not least, where's Face at? That's not it. But we see him moving. Hey, just what, ladies? I know we had a conversation earlier about men doing meal preps and having a good conversation about just healthy meals or just meals, period. So we're going to pretty much have that conversation. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to introduce my other brother from another mother. Always support me on every platform he does, especially his own Primal Studies. So this is pretty much a prototype of what we're going to be doing when we're going to have that meal conversation. Okay, so any ladies out there that want to come up and have a conversation, questions, all that good stuff, we don't mind. If you know a female that talks about health and fitness, we'll have that come on too, so we can take care of that. Miss Creative said, "Hey, Deuce." So last but not least, Primal Studies.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. I was doing some kiddo coordination there. I got a phone call. So anyway, how's it going?
Good, man. If you want to go ahead and give that plug like always, and I appreciate you coming in.
You can always check me out at Primal Studies on YouTube, Instagram, email, primalstudies@gmail.com. You can always connect me there. Like you said, fitness, finances, leveling up your life, mental health, all the things. So if you want to talk about that, that's what we do.
Okay. And just to answer Miss Topaz's question, it's pretty much going to be us at home. And I'm going to give you an example right here. You see right here, this nice little spread that Primal got out. That's pretty much how we're going to have this set up. It's going to be me and him showing that meal, having a good conversation. He's going to does his kitchen. I'm going to do mine, but I pretty much have already meal prep and videos already ready. And we're going to be dining as we're having a good conversation. We don't know what we're going to be talking about. We could probably just talk about the meal, how we set it up. We didn't have that conversation. So they look at him.
There you go.
There you go. That part. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing, Ms. Topaz. So check us out for that one. Okay. So again, hit that bell notification button to get updated on everything. Yes, ma'am. On this channel. So I know in Primal, he might surprise you. Just do it just because of his on his channel too. So Primal Studies, definitely support him. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. So you never know what you get on Primal.
It's a mixed bag. It's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, I heard the party bus, but that's a whole other conversation.
You know it.
All right, man. So I appreciate it, fellas, for coming on in. We're gonna drop the food one down so we can get the business. All right. So before I show this clip, so what do y'all take on just y'all thoughts and opinions or perspective on fear fear and respect. Do y'all think it's the same thing? Do you think it's like, two different? Like what? Because I want to show this clip so y'all can get your deep dive on it. Fear and respect.
I think it's two different things.
Mhm.
People can have a fear of losing something or offending someone that they respect,
Mhm.
but they're two different things. It's just like, it's basically a strong emotion. Like you pretty much you're waiting for something to happen and you're anticipating some type of reaction. And respect is just how we look at people and how we view them, and just how we look at them through our eyes. Like we might uh admire what someone does or who they are or even the energy or the space that they occupy. So I believe that they're two different things.
All right. What about you, Deuce? Deuce, you there, bro? I think he froze.
Oh yeah.
Thanos. What about you?
I could take it to child wearing. So fear and respect. Usually between when I was raising my boys, between like about 1 and 6, until they understood respect, I would lead with fear. When I trying to tell them something that get them out of danger, or when I need them to do certain things, either with a raised voice, certain facial movements. Um, and then once they learn respect, then I'll be able to communicate with words, more verbal stances and things like that. So I like to lead with fear when dealing with adults out in the world. I heard you start Great Pill saying that respect is earned. I kind of go different. I
Mhm.
kind of leave with respect and oh, excuse me.
You're fine.
Taking taking the approach of I looked at how a lot of our inner cities are, the way the neighborhood looks. If respect was given, you wouldn't have garbage and a lot of things out in the street. If you see a
Mhm.
lot of people in trouble, I think people would care more about individuals, and we would have less turmoil, look better place like it used to when we were little. But
Fair enough. I
yeah, that's my
respect
thing.
that. What about you, Primal?
Yeah, I think this is one of those cases where two things can be true at the same time, right? So you can obviously fear something, you can respect something, and you can fear and respect something at the same time. So if there's, look back to history, look at some of the most fearsome men or people out there in the world. They commanded fear, but they also commanded respect at the same time. But you don't necessarily have to be fearsome to be respected, and you can be fearsome without being respected. So you can mix and match them, and they don't
Mhm.
all have to be the same thing at the same time. But if you can be respected and loved, then I would say that's the best thing to be. But that's not the way the world always works out there.
Mm,
Right, right. And
fair.
what respect. The thing is about that is like a lot of things. This is the thing that people are missing, right? If you look at someone that you just automatically say they don't deserve your respect, right? It could be somebody, a homeless person, or it could be a prostitute or whatever, right? And you're looking at them you're judging them by what they do, right? So you can say that person doesn't require or have your respect. People got to understand, like, it's the respect that you have for yourself, not to go out of the way to devalue someone. Like, you have to have that respect in yourself, not to disrespect someone. And I think a lot of people, they really don't, they really don't understand that part. Like, it should be within you. So if you respect yourself, then you're going to hold yourself to a certain standard and not go out of your way to do certain things that people that they really don't deserve. So you won't go out of your way to walk up to somebody and call them what they are, or what I'm saying. You would wave, treat them like a human. You keep walking. They do what they do. That has nothing to do with you. You keep it forward.
You on mute, Gray Pill.
Yeah, you know,
Have any? Well said. Have y'all ever heard of Andrew Tate in the Manosphere slash Red Pill? Spaces YouTube. Okay. All right. Well, just making sure everybody get warmed up for it. So
man.
I'm gonna share this little clip of one of them that somebody had out there. So here we go. not that one. There we go.
We were playing Nintendo. We're about to go to bed. Friend was called Ryan, I remember, and Ryan started screaming at his mom, Mom, nightlight. So she puts on this nightlight. I didn't know it was a Thomas the Tank Engine nightlight. I'd never seen a nightlight in my life. Saw it get plugged in, and I was like, wow, a nightlight, that's a thing. I was like, why? What's that? He goes, it's a nightlight because I'm scared of the dark. I must have only been about 5. I was like, all right, cool. I remember going home to my dad and saying, hey, Dad, can I have a nightlight? He's like, no. It's like, but I'm scared of the dark. And I remember he was playing chess. When I said I was scared of the dark, he looked at me. It was nighttime. He took my ass up to my bedroom, locked me in the bedroom in the dark, said, there's monsters in there, son. Good luck. See you tomorrow. I screamed and cried all night. Guess what? I never asked for a nightlight again. I stopped being scared of the dark. Within a day, I'll tell you a story I've never told before.
All right, I'm gonna play it one more time so everybody get clarity of the story.
Same at my friend's house. We've been playing Nintendo. We're about to go to bed. Friend was called Ryan, I remember, and Ryan started screaming at his mom, Mom, nightlight. So she puts on this nightlight. I didn't know it was a Thomas the Tank Engine nightlight. I'd never seen a nightlight in my life. Saw it get plugged in, and I was like, wow, a nightlight, that's a thing. I was like, why? What's that? He goes, it's a nightlight because I'm scared of the dark. I must have only been about 5. I was like, all right, cool. I remember going home to my dad and saying, hey, Dad, can I have a nightlight? He's like, no. It's like, but I'm scared of the dark. And I remember he was playing chess. When I said I was scared of the dark, he looked at me. It was nighttime. He took my ass up to my bedroom, locked me in the bedroom in the dark, said, there's monsters in there, son. Good luck. See you tomorrow. I screamed and cried all night. Guess what? I never asked for a nightlight again. I stopped being scared of the dark. Within a day, I'll tell you a story I've never told before. I was sitting around my friend's house. We've been playing.
All right. So what's your thoughts of that?
I mean, that's one take on immersion therapy.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, as far as he knows, it worked for him. But sometimes that can have a damaging effect on your ability to have empathy in certain situations, because it's an extreme measure. So you'll get used to extremism, and every situation it requires what that situation requires. So you got to be flexible. So you can't be just rigid and stuck in one way about doing certain things, because if you're a leader of many people, you can't lead. You have to lead them all according to what you know about them. As a group, yes, you do motivated things as far as the mission, but when you're motivating each individual subordinate, you have to use what you know about them to kind of like mentor them or kind of build them up. So you have to be flexible in certain things.
All right, what about you, Thanos?
I look at a lot of men in this space, and that extremism that L is talking about shows it's like it's not allowed to be any gray area. Everything is just extreme to the left or extreme to the right. So it's like when you try to explain anything, like, hey, what kind of milk you want? It's going to get crazy. So that's right. Like a perfect example of why that's like you walking the thin line trying to learn like that.
So you're telling me everything's not black and white. There's gray in the middle.
Yeah.
I can't make this up.
Definitely.
What's your thoughts on that, Primal?
Yeah, everybody's tolerances are going to be different, right? So what you do that's effective for one person won't necessarily be effective for the next. So some people would be able to tolerate those harsh immersion therapy type approaches, right? Like, all right, this is the way to conquer your fear is to, if you're scared of heights, we're going to go stand up and kick our legs off the edge of the tallest building. That's going to work for some people, but that's not going to work for everybody. So that's where we have to be nuanced in these things, because for some people, it won't just not work. It could break them. So that's where you have to take the time to know what you're dealing with. Right.
It's like logic, right? Men, we say we like to be more logical. We like to lead with that. But when you're dealing in relationships, we're talking about emotions. That's irrational. So we want to logic our way out of everything. And that's just we're just going to say this and that's it. That's not how it works.
I definitely agree.
Oh, and I'm gonna do you one better. So 2 boys, I got 2 boys, same house. I couldn't do the same things that I did for one versus the other. Right. So my oldest, he a little on the softer side until you take him off. My youngest, rowdy, ready to go at any minute, jumping off top of the stairs to break his neck, get up laughing. So it's just, and it's weird. And it's like they're growing up in the same house, but I got to go 2 different methods to deal with both of them.
A perfect example, because you have some people who they parent of the decade. They have one child, and it's like, they'll give advice to someone who has 2 or 3 kids, and they're telling you this is how you got to do it. I'm like, you only have one child. You don't know the differences that you have to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, I got you. I got you. One child you can talk to, the others like, it's pulling your hair out.
Yeah.
So
And
you said,
the other wrinkle to that is I have both a son and 2 daughters. Imagine this. They're different.
You know what I'm saying?
all right, so let's put that theory up to the test. So again, we know they're different, but again, so we'll take this one, we'll snatch one kid, and
Okay.
that same scenario. So you were telling me that just on your opinion that that's not traumatic for a kid, or do you think that it might work for some but not work for others? Because to me, I hear trauma. When I heard that conversation, I instantly thought trauma.
Yeah, I think there is trauma, and we got to think about it. For some of us who haven't had that foundation on relationships with people in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that leads to the trauma that we never discussed. So what we do is naturally we cope. We come up with coping mechanisms for how we see relationships, and we just put them in certain boxes. And that's very dangerous because we have to be adaptable to situations. And I think that's where even most of us men fail. Like, we're supposed to be solution based, and in order to do that, you have to be able to adapt to the situation. Work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Sorry, responding to somebody in the private chat real quick. All right, so let me get to the conversations real quick in the chat. So I appreciate y'all for chiming in. Definitely put your inputs on it because, again, pretty much these gentlemen said the same thing I was saying. So again, it's YouTube. Everybody got their opinions on in these comments, but I thought it was very interesting just to take on that because I know of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And the dynamic that they were explaining in the comment section is way different than what y'all thought process because one gentleman, I read it, but I'm just going to give one on top of dome. He said, "Hey, Grey Pill, you must not be raised by a father. You must not have no male influence in your life or nothing like that." And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. But I know men who pretty much thinking the same way I'm thinking that, hey, has both the family dynamic, raised by all the brothers. Hell, oh, y'all motherfuckers serve the country. You pretty much don't get no tougher than what it is, right? So I'm like, how does that work out? So you're telling me these gentlemen that's educated, career driven, serve that country, salute to the king and whatever the crown may be, and you're telling me these same gentlemen is like, that gotta be a no too, because we're pretty much thinking the same idea. Only a little bit differently. Said Thanos with the he said, hey, sometimes I lead with fear first. Cool, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not going to be my ultimate go-to for everything. I just can't come in fear tactics for everybody,
Oh, but that's only for children though. Only for and that was one, like ages 1 through 5.
Yeah.
If you grown.
But look at it as a man though, right? And we got to look at the areas that we struggle in, right? So you can toughen your kid up, right? We all know, look, my dad put the boxing gloves on me. There's certain things that my dad did, to kind of toughen me up. But at the same time, my dad did talk to me. He did tell me about his mistakes and what not to do. Don't follow his mistakes. And he taught me, how it got in certain situations. So in order to make our kids balance, we got to do the dad thing. But at the same time, we have to do the things that let them know, okay, you're going out in this world. You need to know that there's another side to it so they can have both sides, right? So you're going to have your mom, you're going to have your dad if they're in the same house or whatever, right? And you can see it from, the mom, she may be more nurturing, and your father, he may be more tough on you. But at the same time, you need to see a balanced, healthy type of man, right? You might see him cry on something, that happened that's maybe, a lot for him, right? But then you can get a lesson like, listen, it happens, men do it too. We don't make a habit of doing it all the time, but we do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but a man is who you make it. You don't have to consider yourself strong all the time and do all that type of stuff. You're human, but it's the way you deal with adversity. And hey,
fair enough.
more balance.
Dude, so is everything going to your end? You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So your thoughts, brother. We pretty much given our definition of what fear and respect is, and I don't know what else you heard as far as what we were talking about earlier. So if you want to
I
give
was
your take
listening.
on it.
I had to restart everything.
Okay, cool.
But I was listening on my phone. So a situation dictated, right? And what L was talking about, voice of reason, is balance. We have our roles, right? And if you have balance, they were like most people live their life out of balance, right? You don't have your mother and your father. You don't have the light
Right.
and the dark. You don't have both sides of it. So now you overcompensate with one because you never had the other. And when you're playing play your position, play your role. If you're as a parent raising a child, right? If you talk about, because everything is different depending on the context you're talking about. So when you're talking about like children, I just had this conversation yesterday about it's okay. Like somebody says, it's okay for your child to cry. Yes, but I have to teach him it's not okay, right? I have to teach him to be strong in all situations. I have to teach him control. Once I teach him control and he knows how to control his emotions, now he, especially dealing with a young man, right, a boy, I have to teach him how to control his emotions so that now when it's safe for him to release his emotions, he can release it in a safe place. You know what I'm saying? You can't be outside in the street just crying, getting emotional. You know what I'm saying? Come home, come to where it's safe, come back to the castle, and then you can vent. And then you could go back out into the world to be strong, especially for raising a young black man.
Right. You don't want him to be too fragile and explosive and just blow off and commit all types of. Because look, jail is full of guys who, like anger is a secondary emotion, right? So when you express that and you move without thinking, now you're in a prison cell, wondering, what I'm saying, like, man, if I hadn't did what I did, you know what I'm saying? So you really got to check yourself before you make a lot of decisions. And whatever you have to do, if you have to get away from people, remove yourself from that situation. I don't care what they say about you. You got to think first the consequences. Because listen, I'm not built for jail. I'm not going to jail. I'm sorry.
I'll definitely that bill for you.
I'm not doing it. I'll be first to tell you that. I'm good.
Hey, so dudes, did you see the video so far? So what are your thoughts with the Andrew Tate story? Just
I didn't. I caught like a piece of it. But I listened to a lot of Andrew Tate stuff. And yeah, it's not toxic. I know my name is toxic, right? But it's not toxic. You know what I'm saying? It's teaching men how to be men how to be strong. We're living in a society that is constantly pushing this message to feminize men, make men more sensitive, make men more strong, like weak. And now like look at the direction that society is heading. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these boys that never become men. All these boys are becoming girls. Because like living here in Europe, the they like Americans and they like black men because we're considered more masculine. Like that's just off the rip, more masculine. And that's a bad thing. And that's not just about attracting women, but it's about how you carry yourself in your life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't. The difference between a lot of us and a lot of men that don't accomplish anything in life is that they don't do things with aggression, because we're taught that aggression is a bad thing. And we're not talking aggression as in violence from one human being to another. We're talking about doing things aggressively, attacking your goals aggressively. So, we have this thing where people aren't tempering that. People aren't telling you not. People saying don't be aggressive ever. Always be timid. Always be soft. And when you don't have that aggression, you don't have that controlled aggression, you're not really going to accomplish anything. And then you're not going to have any type of what's the word I'm looking for? Grit. You're not gonna have any type of grit, because as soon as things get hard and you don't know how to get aggressive, you don't know how to push through those obstacles, you're gonna quit. You're gonna cry. You're gonna get sore. And that's what I see with most young men, especially when I was recruiting. The second that the obstacle was in their way, they had no type of grit, no type of perseverance, nothing. It's just like, oh, this is hard. Why I gotta do that? It's all this whining and complaining. And it's like, man up. Like they don't have men telling them to man up, because men are scared to be men nowadays. Especially if you didn't have a father in your life to tell you how to do those things. Now somebody has to tell you. And I think that everybody's getting mad at Andrew Tate because oh, well, that's old, that's antiquated. No, it's not. It got us this far in society. As a society, we would not have gotten here from being in caves and throwing rocks to now all this technology and everything. You get that through grit and aggression.
Okay. Somebody a few comments real quick. one says, shout out to Stacy. She says, unlikely his fear of the dark disappeared. More likely he learned to shut his mouth, not display his fear, and align his draw and how far he can trust his father. Somebody said, I agree. And then shout out to Topaz. She said, he said before they can understand, and when it's out, safety, that's the difference. I agree with that. Somebody earlier actually mentioned trauma. I agree with that to a degree, because when it comes to certain children, again, I think y'all gentlemen said it earlier, depends on what type of child you got. If you know you got a child that's like this, just run around, just literally dive head first into dangerous places. Okay, clearly that's the kid that doesn't care if he get his bones broken. So I got to be a little bit more stern on him and maybe implement some fear. So because clearly he don't respect life. So that's my thing. But we're gonna bring up Papi Blanco because he has his take on everything. So we're gonna see what Papi Blanco got to say. What's going on, Papi Blanco?
Yo, how y'all doing?
What's going on,
good,
man?
Up in the building.
It's good titles, man. You barely be around here no more, man.
Hey, I like how Poppy make his interest.
He always outside.
Yeah, man. Now I'm just listening to what you're saying and everything. So you I want to ask you a question though. I don't know if can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So do you think you want to be love or fear?
We discussed that last time. You don't remember? It was more respect and fear, but go ahead. I got you.
Yeah. I don't think we discussed it on a live stream.
No, it was something. It was the other way around. But you're good. It was the other way around.
Yeah. Do you want to be love or fear?
I mean, see, fear is a certain motivating factor, right? It could be unpleasant, right? Some people may be cool with, it may affect people differently, right? But we all know as emotions, we all say love conquers all, right? So if you love a person, which you should respect the person, then fear will come in because you'll be afraid to lose the love or the respect of that person. So it just all depends, man. Me, it's like kind of like I'm in the middle because I'm going to use those at two different times. So you know what I mean? Two different ways and I'm applying to two different situations. But we say love conquers all, man. It's all encompassing. So
you sound like a YouTube simp now, Nixon. They don't want to hear that.
Hey, whatever. It's whatever, dog.
Dude, what's your thought? What's your answer to what Poppy said?
It's situation dictated, right? Like this is what people have to write. Most people like meditation, right? People need to meditate and really need to like, how do I apply both and when to apply both? It's a time and a place. Right?
There you go, man.
In my relationships, I want to be loved. I don't want you to fear me. I want you to be scared of me, right? Because that's not that, like in a home and with children and with my family, I don't want to be feared, right? Nobody wants to be feared. I want to be loved. But fear the consequences of betraying my love. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the everything has balance. There's a time and a place for fear, and there's a time and a place for love. Because love is going to protect you out of love. I'm going to do things for you out of love. I'm going to meet my responsibilities as a man, my responsibilities to you, my promises to you out of love. If you betray that, be scared because there are going to be consequences.
With toxic, when that fear is no longer there, when I don't see, when I love you, I'ma love you. But when that fear is no longer there, listen, it's no telling what people might do when they don't fear you no more. If that's their motivating factor. Like if I move past the fear stage, for some people it's on. You won't be able to trust that person because the fear is the only thing that kept them. When that's gone, it's a wrap for some people. You know what I mean?
Right. Because what happens, right? It's the fear of losing me. It's the fear of me no longer caring about you. It's the fear, like you have to fear consequences. Don't fear the person, fear the consequences.
Right. So when that fear of the consequences is not there, and it's like, look, they're gone anyway, and you settled in your mind, then now you have to develop. You have to figure out where you want to go. So now your motivation becomes something different. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I like I said, so I'm with you on that. It's a balance. You gotta I gotta have both. I can't just be one. I gotta have both. To me, that's the balance thing. So not one or the other.
Thanos, what about you, bro?
Rather be loved, man. Thanos is love.
Look at that. You got dollar points out here.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Somebody gonna pay him
Hey.
$2.99 a minute.
Yeah, fear can be healthy, Emmanuel. But yeah, like he said, either love, because if he don't get that love, he gonna snap that finger, and this shit gonna be.
I mean, the reason I say love because that love, you know what I'm saying, that could be dialed back some. You can get a little fear out of it, but with fear, ain't no love in that.
Yeah.
You know, I can't pull no love out of that.
Yeah, so it got to be a healthy balance, and and pretty much a consequences what El Nixon said. You agree or disagree, Primal?
Snap the fingers.
Got to get off mute here. You know, I want my circle to love me, but I want everybody else to fear me. I think you get the most mileage out of life that way. But like my dogs just jumped up on me. So my dogs love me, but at the same time they fear me. Do you understand? Like,
Yeah.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Balance.
You can turn the switch. I think that's where is a good place to be. Is you have so that you have love, but at the same time they do understand that they should fear you on some level. And if you need to flip that switch, you need to have that capacity.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a healthy balance of the both, and depends on which is which.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that. If anybody, go ahead, El Nixon.
Now, I just want to say, right. So when we look at that clip, right, we can understand by that clip alone, it looks very extreme, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're just looking at that one part, right? But we talked about balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for us to look at that it just extreme, and that's what it is. It could be one segment that the guys are saying that look, men are missing that, right? So think about it. What we normalized is this. We've normalized, and I know the ladies can see it. There's a bunch of coddled men. So we normalized the nurturing part of it, right? And we're okay with that, right? We normalized, the men helping around the house. That's why a lot of men can cook. A lot of men can do that stuff. We can iron. We can do all that type of stuff. But what has happened is the stuff that men were supposed to do, we're not doing anymore. You give a kid a tool, and they don't even know the difference between a flathead and a Phillips head. So we do have to have that side, and it may come off as extremism, but when you look at it, where men are today, it's going to come off as extreme because a lot of guys are frustrated. So their delivery and that approach is going to seem extreme.
Fair enough. If anybody in the comments, if anybody in the group chat, in the chat, I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit. Gonna come at one at a time. I'm not gonna overwhelm the panel. If you have a question or a comment, you come on up and we'll have that discussion one at a time. If I know you, you're fine. You don't have to cam up. But if I don't know you, you definitely got to cam up. I'm not trying to be like Poppy Blanco, some chick trying to already about to throw some nude pics on his stream. or some wee wees on Primal. So I'm not trying to be that one right now.
I just want to respond to something that El said.
Sure.
With men, we can iron, we can cook, right?
Yeah.
That's not a thing that wasn't our job. A man's job is to survive and to ensure survival.
Right.
And that's what people need to say as especially when dealing with relationships, because a lot of this stuff happens because people are always trying to define the dynamic between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, I don't need you for anything, because anything that you can do, I can do. I can iron my own clothes. I can cook my own food. I might not be in here chefing and doing all the crazy seasonings and sides that you're doing, but I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat for survival. I'm gonna do what I need to do to survive. And when I bring you, when I make myself responsible for you, I'm ensuring your survival. And in that, we create a dynamic where it's like, hey, you take certain things off of my hands, but never get it twisted. I can do all this stuff without you. Like, people be thinking, oh, well, I cook for him all the time. If we break up, he's gonna die because he's not gonna eat. No, I'm gonna eat.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad you said. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
I literally had somebody was just consistently in the messages all the time, and just like the fact that they think they could do the same thing I could do. It's like, oh, that's the end all be all. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not. And I'm too stubborn. Like, I would literally, like, real talk, bro. I'm literally the type of dude, I will literally live in my car if I got to be in the same room for you and you're aggravating me. I will literally live in my car and get myself back up together. Like that's just how I am.
Listen, but we got to be honest though. The reason why we have those issues is because you'll find some men who are like that, bro. I'm like, yo, why haven't you had to learn to do that? Well, my mom did it, or I'll find a woman to do that. Like, bro, in the meantime, like I remember my mom, my dad taught me, hey, learn these things. So if you live by yourself, you'll be good. Now, when you get with someone, then y'all can balance out those things. But I wasn't gonna be a single guy out here, and I had to call a woman to do everything. In the meantime, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna make sure I'm good. Like, but you're right. Yeah, we're gonna survive. And the rest of y'all who don't know how to survive, bro, come on.
But those are like basic surviving skills if you really think about it. You know what I mean? Like I think everybody should know that because at some point everybody can live alone anyway. So
yeah.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, Poppy.
It's crazy how crazy it's crazy how fucked up society is to the point that I was watching this clip. Was it yesterday or today that it was some broad that got on Western. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy named Jason Black.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was this pretty. Matter of fact, to be fair, Hunger was finer than a motherfucker. She was fine as hell, so right. But she was saying that she deserved a man that made 500,000. That's the exact word. Because she know how to cook and clean, and she got some good pussy. That's what she say out of her own mouth. I'm like, yo, you supposed to know that since you were like 10 years old. Like any idiot can do that. Even Ray Charles probably can cook. That doesn't mean that don't make you special, yo. But that lets you know. But that just lets you know how low the bar is for people nowadays. You see what I'm saying? Right. Like just for you to just because you look good and you proclaim say that you got some good pussy, you deserve this. It's like the entitlement that we live in today's society is crazy. And in most part, a lot of time, most men is more like realistic with themselves. You feel me? Like if you see a little guy, whatever guy, he might be broke as hell. He usually think to stick to himself. Girls don't do that shit, man. Girls be shooting for the skies, man. They be shooting for the skies, yo. And no matter how ugly, how disturbing they look, too.
That's fair enough. Let me read some comments real quick. While I'm reading the comments, y'all can just agree or disagree on it. And this is me back and forth with people in the chat. Also, says, Miss Creative says 500K doesn't. I think she's trolling, but that's Miss Creative. She says 500K doesn't sound so bad though. Laughing out loud, shot.
Hey, it don't though. I ain't gonna lie, shit, it don't.
If you can get it, go ahead and get it. But just just understand though, it's always consequence for everything you ask for. If anybody remember Monkey's Paw, be careful what you wish for. That's pretty much how that goes, especially with relationships. If you want these kind of six-figure guys, or if you want this type of guy for his money, clothes, or just status, that kind of guy is gonna act a certain way. Be busy. Yeah, he's gonna be busy. If you want a guy that's making, because I pretty much say it all the time just to hear a response. I never get a real answer. I tell women like, yo, if you're making 100K and I'm making 30, 40K, and I'm checking all your boxes, would you still set me? All the men across the board said, heck no, it won't last. It won't last because men is built differently to women. Men will be like, you know what? She can be a low earner and I could be a high earner, but guess what? It's never going to change for me. I'm going to still be me. That's the difference. So I know if there's some women out there that say differently, I challenge that. But unfortunately, I always see a lot of women that say that act accordingly than anything else. I know one woman that I know for a fact makes over 100K, career driven, but she wants a guy to make as equal as her, but she's always having a problem with the dates. I don't know if it's a personality thing, but I know it's a timing thing because y'all both do not have time for each other. Like one the other guy, it got to be one the other. It can't be both.
She just talking shit though. She just talking shit, man. That's what they go for. They just like to talk shit because they just go for whatever guy they like, man. All that bullshit, man. Once again, bro, I have been in plenty of days in my life, bro. Hundreds. I have never been asked how much money I made. I have never been asked how much what do I own. So all this shit that they be talking about. You gotta make that just book. You know what those rules for? Those rules for the guys that they don't like. They gotta pay the price. Because if a girl find and this guy attracted, this motherfucker just making $20,000 on a part time somewhere, she would make a section for that guy. I'm telling you, I see it all the time, bro.
Women
Don't let this internet shit fool you, man.
Yeah, women make rules for men they're not that into, and they break rules for men they're into.
That's
Bingo.
I agree.
Ooh, soundbite.
Look at Nicki Minaj, bro.
Message.
Nicki Minaj made Nicki Minaj is worth what 100 mils, bro. Guess what? She with a guy that just got out of prison. No problems. You see what I'm saying? I know, and a lot of guys, and I know a lot of these goddamn YouTube spaces, they be calling the man, oh, he's a beta. I'm like, nigga, that's a player right there, bro. It's straight out of the pen. Guy with $100 million broad, nigga. Like, who does that?
I have to agree to that because it was also, I don't know if y'all read the article about the guy that was in prison for like 5 years, and they showed his mugshot, and he looked like a straight model. Yeah, looked like a model. And as soon as he came out, he was dating a millionaire, the chick for like maybe a year or two.
Her father owns a bunch of clothing lines.
Yeah,
he got a modeling contract. He stayed with his baby mother for a couple years, but then he out in that sphere. You know what I'm saying? He out with the models and with the people. He ended up leaving his baby mother.
He doing movies and everything, bro. There's another guy.
He told his baby mama, like, hey man, I gotta go, man. This billionaire girl over here, she worth $7 billion. Listen, you shut the fuck up. I'll take care of you too.
Hey, but there's another guy, and then there's also a woman prison babe. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
That I heard. Yeah, I saw her. I remember her.
Yeah.
Just her mugshot alone before she came out, they were sending money to her before she even got out.
She was crazy, right? Wasn't she like an arsonist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Nah, hey, but you know what though? Look at the social climate. Like it's true. Like we talk about all this stuff, but like he said, people like who they like. I don't care what you're talking about. We can talk all this stuff online, but offline, like you can actually catch people, through sound bites, previous streams. They'll complain about men or they'll complain about women, but 2 months ago they said they like toxic men and women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so just embrace it and be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? And you good.
It's just a catch term right now, because right now everybody, this whole generation is about redefining everything, right? Everything, redefine masculinity, redefine femininity, redefine like traditional masculine behaviors is now fall under toxic, right? Because they want now they redefine everything. So no, you don't like toxic men. You like what they're calling toxic. You like a traditional man, right? Let's go back to let's use the original verbiage, the original narrative.
But even those days are over. Yeah, those days are over, because even then, when you have majority of women say that, heck, not too many men. I haven't heard a man say that, but if you got women saying we want traditional men, and then when we'll ask you like, what's your definition of that, so I can go by that list, and then it's too much picks and choosings and ups, downs, and I don't know. There's a lot going on. So,
and that's where men, it's black and white. Like, and I have this. I've had this in my own relationships, right? Stop trying to intellectualize like every bit of the relationship. It's black and white. I do this, you do this. This is my role. This is your role. Let's make it happen. Right, and that's what about like do what works, pragmatism. Because even for instance, like Nicki Minaj situation, right? Okay, the dynamic is inverted, right? Because it's reversed, because she makes more money. Okay, but they might still have a dynamic, right? Like a dynamic that works. So it might, because she has her own money and survival is ensured by what she does. As long as she might know, hey, listen, he's still the king. He's still my man. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not going to emasculate him. And that's the thing. Like if she's not emasculating him, and that's the thing where a lot of women, this is where trauma comes in. We talk about trauma, right? Yeah. Because people tend to overcompensate to make up for a past slight, right? So now people will have a bad breakup, and then now the good things that they brought to the relationship, they want to take that away from everybody, because it's like, well, in my last relationship, I gave them everything, and then that still happened. All right, well, that was that one person. You know why you'll never be happy? Because you did those things, and those things were part of your personality. That was you being your true self. But now you stop being your true self to spite the world, and now you're never gonna be happy because you're not being your true self. I'm an affectionate, giving person. Just because I gave somebody an affection they didn't appreciate it, I'm not gonna not give anybody affection anymore, right? Because it's part of my personality. And if I try to be something that I'm not, there's going to be consequences in our relationship because I'm not going to be living my true self.
Fair enough. All right. While we're bringing somebody up, I'm going to read some comments, and you can agree, disagree. And we have some in the back. They're shaking their head like crazy, so I guess they disagree with the.
Hey, but let me. Hey, before you do that, I want to say
go ahead,
something.
bro.
Before you do that. Go ahead. Oh no. Okay, so I just wanted to say, right. I think with us being on in this online space, I think by us discussing certain things and giving people options and going down a list of stuff, I think in this online space, a lot of us have become natural contrarians to it, right? Versus if you just do it, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff that we talk about online, a lot of people like, I don't deal with that offline. Like I don't even have these conversations with these topics, right? So if we make a list of the things that may define toxic masculinity, right? And we'll talk about it. And that sounds like control. That sounds like this. Okay, cool. Take that off the table, right? You can take all those lists of things that you talk about, and then I could ask people a question. In the Black 70s show, which TV fathers do you love and respect that you like? And then they'll say, oh, I like James Evans from Good Times. Then damn, he's everything on that list. But you like him as a father, you like this character, but he's everything on that list. So that, bro, sometimes a lot of this stuff don't need to be explained. People go back and forth. That's why certain conversations I don't get into. That's why I go back what Poppy said.
That's why you got it roasting, though.
People like what they like.
Fair
I be
enough.
roasting them.
All right, so shout out to E-Man. He's up here, but I'm going to read most of these comments that I saw here and, agree, disagree real quick. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the link is below. If you agree or disagree with a lot of stuff us gentlemen just had just for a casual conversation. Also, what's your thoughts on fear and respect? Is you taking one side over the other, or you just say, hey, you know what? It's a blend mix depending on the situation. Where's the comments? Because I was trolling for a little bit. And I was loving the responses. Oh yeah, man. I'm petty, bro. It happens. It is what it is. Some might say I'm opinionated, but it's all good. I still love them. Somebody said the Great Pill Podcast. He loves his father and always speak of him. I'm guessing you didn't have a dad. Tragic. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, I did have a dad. Unfortunately, he wasn't the right fit. He was a player from the Himalayas. Someone else says, what's the comment? You guess it wrong. A dad, 4 uncles, multiple brothers. Okay, that was me. Where's the rest of this crap? Okay, cool. Okay, I think we're just me trolling. All right, there you go. We're good. We'll leave it alone from there. I should just broke all this into pieces and we could have chopped up. It's all good. All right, so
no, hold on. I poured my drink. It's time to get toxic.
Well, you late because Prime already started before you.
What up? What up, man? What up?
Prime was my drinking buddy.
Yeah, he started already before you. Hold on. Go ahead.
That comment about the whole my father was a player for the Himalayas, right?
Yeah.
Was he handling his responsibility?
No, he was not.
Okay, that's all we need to know. Right?
Right.
No, he was not.
He handled responsibilities. And he get a little pee on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like he still come home, still take care of the family. He just might have got something. He might have been outside, had to let one go. You know what I'm saying? Came back to the family and kids. You know what I'm saying?
See, now that's a different dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I'm not gonna say I'm okay with it. If he was doing that again, at the end of the day, that's between mom and dad. Leave me out of it.
Exactly.
Leave me out of it.
Right.
Because that's at that point it's 3 relationships. Is mine's, hers, and the child. So that's 3 relationships. We got to work that dynamic out. But they should figure that crap out before they had me. Now, like I said, anything that I do coming forth, he's raising me, is become like I said, the respect and fear factor depends on how the child is. All that down from there. So, but hey, it is what it is. But E-Man, I appreciate you, man, for coming on in, man. So, do you agree or disagree? What you think fear and respect is for you?
So It's hard to say if I agree or disagree because just y'all gave an hour worth of information. And of course, I agree with a lot of stuff you said, and I disagree with a lot of stuff you guys said. So first thing is, I actually believe men don't need fear at all. Like I don't have to have any fear whatsoever.
So we're taking fear off the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like if I have respect, I don't need fear. Most people who need fear doesn't have respect. So because if you respect me, I don't need you to fear me because out of respect, you will do as I see. So, and I understand that some people might not understand that dynamic, but for example, my two daughters never, ever put my hands on them, but they respect me enough to be able to carry out my wills when I speak it. Now, they might fear their mother in a way, but I don't think that. I think if you have respect, you don't need fear. Fear is kind of a way to rule of the past and not
in that same concept. Since you're saying you're taking fear off the board, and then now you said, hey, the wife might fear her. So what, just the family dynamic, and y'all should be on the same unit. You are the man you are leading. Wouldn't it be also fair to say then she also need to exercise that, just take fear off the board also, because that might work?
Well, no. So what I'm saying is that I can't control her dynamic with how she interact with the kids. I think that's, as a parent, she have a right to interact with the kids the way she wants to, and I have the right to interact. We're not the same. We're different people. Our brains think different. I don't know if they fear her per se, but what I will say is that a father interaction and a father interaction and a mother interaction is different. That's why I think we need both.
Fair enough. Anybody got anything to respond to E-Man? So what he said earlier?
Yes, you need both.
I got something.
Go ahead.
So who is in charge of the discipline in your house? When it comes to the kids.
Are you when you say discipline, do you mean physical discipline or you mean
all of it? Physical, mental, punishment, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I believe we both can punish the kids. I don't think that especially at a certain age, I don't think you should hit your kids anymore. Like it's at a point where when somebody can comprehend a certain level, you shouldn't have to place your hands. Now, I do believe in whoopings, but I believe whooping is more of something of the younger ages, not the older ages, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I thought whoopings and beatings was the same thing.
Yeah, spankings. I was gonna throw spankings in there.
Well, whoopings. The point that I'm saying is this right here. Like I believe, especially once a kid get to a certain age that they can comprehend. Yes, the punishment might be still a thing, but you don't have to put your hands on them anymore. Like I don't think that you should be putting your hands on a 16, 17-year-old.
Oh, that's different. No. Yeah, that's a obviously that's a grown up right there. Not necessarily a grown up, but that's a teenager almost into adult life. So that's
now compared to
I agree on that part.
Now when we talk about my 1-year-old, just because I pop her don't mean that she fears me. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, what a 1-year-old shouldn't. I mean, they don't know. They don't know what's right, what's wrong.
Yeah, they're still
I said 1 to 5 earlier.
They don't know what's right. So I think when I speak with my kids, is I start when it's like around 3, 4. You see what I'm saying? My oldest, I probably whoop her maybe twice. Maybe that's too much. You see what I'm saying? Thank God blessed me with a good little girl. So far, so good. And the little boy, he good. He too little, so can't do nothing to him. But as soon as he get up to edge a little bit, he gonna get some of his hands too every now and then.
Well, it's a reason I say what I say. So a lot of people believe that when I'm speaking, I'm just talking. So it's a reason that I openly tell my wife and I openly say out loud, there's nothing she can do for me to leave her. I am taking away the fear. Now, I know some men feel that they can run their house totally different. I'm not saying that. But I need to take away the fear because I can tell you when a person moves in love and a person moves in fear is totally different. You can run in love, but you tiptoe in fear because it's a sense of being scared, not being able to, the fear of losing something. So I don't believe fear in any way is good, especially when you talk about the dynamic between a husband and wife. I'm not talking boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm talking about more dynamic between the husband and the wife.
Okay. Deuce, you had a thought?
Yeah.
Wouldn't sleeping with somebody else result in you leaving? I mean, yeah.
I don't know. But do you mind answer a few questions? Because Miss Cruz was asking, since I guess the popular Rolling Stones comment. So she's saying, hey, Deuce, so is that the side piece, laughing out loud? You like your side pieces?
No. Because don't get me wrong, just because I don't participate in something doesn't mean that I don't like I'm against it, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, I don't know the dynamic of that husband and wife relationship, but people have now created this, like, I was watching like an interview with a woman was saying like Martin Luther King wasn't a good person because he was infidel, infidelities and stuff, right? And it's like, no, he's not a great person. So you would invalidate everything that somebody does because of one of their vices or their character flaws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people, balance, right? You have to look at people, the bigger picture. You have to look at, does their good outweigh their bad, right? Because we all have vices. We are not perfect. We all have something about us. And people like to hone in on one imperfection and let that invalidate everything that somebody does. So if a man in a marriage, right? Because most marriages end infidelity, right? But infidelity doesn't come out of nowhere, right? It happened for a reason. I need to address it, move on, stay together, work through it. Why? Because it benefits the family. Now, if it was just y'all two, that's whatever, right? But once y'all have kids, you have a family, you're gonna break up that whole family dynamic. Because I think children benefit from having both parents in the household, right? So if you have the mental, I was looking for that word earlier, resilience. If you can be resilient, push through. Listen, people been getting cheated on for hundreds since the beginning of time.
So are you condoning cheating, sir? Are you condoning cheating?
I don't condone cheating, but I don't condone quitting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just started a new topic for the men's panel, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't marriages and stuff like that. I don't condone quitting. And then, like, marriage is supposed to be till death do us part, right?
Yeah.
Like what the brother said. Like, there's nothing that she can do. There's nothing she can do for me to leave her. I respect that. Like, my first initial reaction was like, but then I was like, no, because I don't believe in quitting. I don't believe in quitting in marriages, especially when you have children involved.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, what you do is how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because now, when you don't have fear,
you guys are disagreements.
Listen. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I know we say, well, you stay in there for the kids, right? And a lot of times we won't understand. We are damaging them damn kids by staying.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I've seen different. I disagree. You base things based on your anecdotal.
I've lived it. So
anecdotal evidence. Right?
Situation.
Yeah. If somebody sleeps with somebody else and you're married to them, isn't that the ultimate disrespect to you?
Yes, but this is toxic, right? This is my toxic opinion.
So they gotta go. It's a line in the sand.
All right, hold on, soft plug real quick again. Y'all see what they're doing right now? Again, this is going to be between the Primal Studies and the Grey Pill Podcast, where we're going to be doing our cooking segment, okay? Where we're going to be cooking, having a whole good conversation. Hell, Primal might just have a hot chick up there, and she just be doing it while me and Primal just might be talking. Who knows? Someone was asking for the men, me and Primal Studies, to have the shirts off while we're cooking. I don't know where that came from, but so maybe they've been in both our DMs and said, you know what, we like what we see here. Maybe we're trying to struggle to have these men make them men submit, but unfortunately that will not happen. So, like, again, for the next one, this is what you're going to be seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, for the cooking show. So low key, Primal is ticking me off because this is what I want for my angle too. So that's a good one, Primal. Hats off to you, brother. So again, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the likes, hit the bell notification so you can get caught up on everything new current with the Grey Pill Podcast. So
you're making me hungry, man.
I know. This is what we're gonna be doing, man. Look, we got the red potatoes up there.
You want to do this in the day that I ain't cooking?
Right.
I gotta make me a sandwich now. A sandwich.
So I think his name is Toxic. Toxic something.
Yeah, it's Toxic or Deuce.
Oh, Toxic Twin Podcast. Man, he absolutely hit a point. Like, I hear people who was dating and somebody cheated on them, and then they got married. That person cheated in the marriage. Then they say, I am going to leave this person for something I accepted going into a marriage. I think it's complete BS. If he was a cheater when y'all got together and he kept cheating and you decide to marry him, you need to deal with those problems and vice versa. Like, it, especially when you have kids involved.
I mean, who was doing the cheating though?
It doesn't matter. Say, even if it's a man.
No, actually, it does matter.
No,
it does matter a whole lot.
Even if it was a man, if a man was with a woman and she was cheating before y'all got married, you decide to move forward and ignore those signs.
That trifling bitch.
And she continued to cheat. No, for real. And she continued to cheat. You can't say, oh, now I'm gonna leave her. F these kids. Let's talk about my happiness. People are leaving because it's not a toxic relationship for the kids. They're talking about their happiness. And they're not talking about the kids' happiness. They're talking about how the kids gonna struggle. And I think that we gotta just stop making so many selfish decisions.
But you know what it is, bro? You know what it is? Like, if you really think about it, once the breakup happened, the kids become bargain chips. That's what the kid become.
Facts.
I don't know if y'all following what happened. I think it was last week. I'm going to do a video about it. 50. Everybody know who 50 Cent is. Right. His son was trashing 50 Cent because he only gave his mama. He bought his mama a house, right? Boom, paid off. Long Island, right? Bingo. Then the courts got involved, whatever, blah blah blah. And then he's supposed to be paying $6,700 per month for child support. And this little bastard had the audacity to say that wasn't enough.
What?
That wasn't enough. To remind you, but it's a backstory of that. The thing is, 50 Cent is the kind of guy that if you cross him, he really gonna hate you for life. And his son crossed him. His son went into a bunch of pictures with some guys that he considered his enemy, right?
Yeah.
So with Slow Buck and you have to be from New York to know this kind of thing. Like Slow Buck, and then this is like
I remember that.
Jamaica.
I remember
exactly.
that.
So he went to a picture with him, and on top of that, the little kid was with his mom. Like, and then my thing was like, bro, as soon as you got like, if $6,700 is not good enough for you to survive every month, like what else is it? Most grown-ups don't even make $6,700 a month.
With
this is tax-free money we're talking about.
With a house paid off and everything.
Yes.
With a house paid off and everything.
But I'm saying that to say this though. Sometimes the kids be using as a bargain just because you can tell they hate from the kid. He didn't grow up with that by himself. His mama put that shit in his head to go against his father. That's where that shit started.
Well, let me ask you this question: if both of them,
alienation of affection, that's what it's called in court.
Yeah.
But if both of them was in a household, do you think that would have been birthed?
Bro, listen. Come on,
if both of them repeat that one more time, yo.
If both of them was in the household, do you believe this type of behavior would have been birthed?
No, because the hunger would have been happy. The thing is that they broke up and she wasn't gonna get the luxury of. We talk about 50 Cent, a man that sold vitamin water for 400 mils. So this man been having money for the past 20 years. And if the son was a little bit smart, he should have started telling his mom, like, yo, I want to go live with daddy, man. As soon as you turn 10 years old, I want to be with my dad. Like, mom, I don't want to be here with you. I want to be with daddy.
Hey, but let's talk about a different child though, right?
Yeah.
Because you have some kids who want their parents together no matter what. Now, some people can appear to somewhat be okay, right? But I'm going back to me being a child, right? As far as peace in the house, I love my mom and I love my dad, but I didn't like what they was doing to each other. So me as a child, I'm going to be like, well, I want my dad and my mom to be together regardless. When it was a whole lot of stuff going on in the house. No, when my mom and dad split, it was more peaceful between both of them. I was happy for both of them. because they were in a happier, healthier environment. I still had my dad, I still had access. So I didn't skip a beat, but the environment was a whole lot better. Some kids actually see that. So we can say, well, we're staying for the kid. If you are damaging those kids, even if a man is in the house and his woman is saying bad stuff and he figure, well, I'm not going to do that to the kids. I'm just going to let her talk. It's still a one-sided story. And the fact that you're there in that environment for her to do that, it's still going to damage the kids. I don't understand why people, because I get it, right? We talk about men leaving home. If you talk to most people, talk to 10 women and ask them the relationships, did most of the men just leave the home or it just the relationship didn't work out? I guarantee you they say the relationship didn't work out. Sometimes if it's so much damaging to where you're going to be in jail or it's getting to a point where something's going to happen, as a man, walk away. But it's better for you to walk away to put your hands on people, or if you're in an environment where y'all just clashing to a point, it's going to go there.
Yeah,
bro, you better protect yourself for your ass being in jail. I don't. When we say, well, look, under no circumstances are you supposed to do this. You're a human. That's bullshit. And some people will do that. There's some toxic women that'll do that just to get you to do that. Some women live for that. And then your ass in jail and you saying, well, I can restrain her. I can do this, man. You talk to any female law enforcement, they are not going to recommend that you do that because they see the cases coming. They're going to tell you, you might have to remove yourself for safety because you're human. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't predict that.
All right. So anybody, time out. Because first of all, that food looking good. So let me go ahead and show that real quick. Again, this is what y'all guys going to be expecting. Now looking better, even more better. One for raw to rare. So, Stacy, move out the way. I just want to see the food, Stacy. Just move out the way, Stacy. There you go. Look at that. So submissive. But now, so real talk. So we're gonna get a response back. If anybody got a response back to L Nixon, then we're gonna give final thoughts.
I want to say look, the answer he gave, right? When he said you ask most people why their relationship ended, and they say something like they give a neutral answer, right? Like, oh, it just didn't work out, right? That takes a level of maturity, right? Because when people say why it didn't work out, some people talk bad about people, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you have that same maturity within the household, right? Because when you're married to somebody, you have problems. You're gonna have issues, but the kids don't have to see that. And the reason I have that mentality is because in my family, multiple people in my family, there's things I'm finding out about people's marriages 50 years later, 60 years later, that wasn't nobody's business. Right?
Grown up business. So people have gotten away. People are putting everything on Front Street. They're putting everything on social media. They're telling all of their friends.
Say that.
What happens in the house stays in the house, right? What happens between the husband and wife? Hey, listen, we're gonna talk about this when the kids go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the in my family, within my family, that's where I come from. So there's things you find out 50, 60 years later, you like, what? I'll say this, right? I found out my great grandfather had another daughter. He passed away like 15, 16 years ago. Nobody knew. My mother didn't know.
So the funeral, huh?
No. We went to the funeral, everything. Like I was close to my great grandfather. So when I was on Ancestry DNA and I found my aunt, I told my grandfather, I said, hey, it looks like Pop had another kid. And he was like, oh, you found my sister. What? You knew you had a sister? He was like, oh yeah. So he said, yeah, we've been new.
That's a whole other conversation.
We found out 60,
right.
50 years, 55, 60 years later, that was what ended their marriage. And we never knew. We knew they broke up. It just didn't work out. My great grandmother never said anything bad about my great grandfather. Never. She always talked nice about him. She was like, yo, your grandfather just liked to be in the streets. He liked to gamble. He liked to be a worldly man. I was a different kind of person. Your grandfather could have been anything he wanted in this world. My grandfather had a photograph. My great grandfather had a photographic memory. He could read a whole book and recite anything on any page. She said he could have been anything in this world. She always had nice things to say about him. She said we just didn't get along. Come to find out, that was what ended their marriage. And nobody ever knew. Now, yeah, they didn't stay together, but look at the maturity that it takes for you to keep the peace within the family and not destroy somebody because of a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And our family was happy. I had my great grandfather, my great grandmother. We going to Nana house for Christmas. Then we go see Pop. Right? He never said nothing bad about her. She never said nothing bad about him. It was amicable, and people have forgotten how to be amicable. So if stuff is happening like that within your household, right? I come from like there's people's business that you don't find out about until 20, 30 years later. Yo, how do they stay married for 30 years when that happened? They come from a different time. They come from a time where people pushed through and people did things for the sake of the kids. Now the kids are seeing everything. Previous generations, the kids didn't see if they're able to put the kids to sleep. Everything's going to be cool. They're going to fake the funk. And afterwards, they're going to talk about it behind closed doors. But now kids are seeing everything.
Hey,
right?
but you know what, though, Toxic? There's because there was a respect, right? And even when you did, crime or whatever, there was a code, right, for that. So when you talk about, Papa being a Rolling Stone, like even when you talk about the side woman, yo, you can't go to the side woman house if you didn't take care of home. She wasn't having that. Like you got to take. And matter of fact, they on the phone with the main. You know what I'm saying? And they getting you together. But see, we look at it differently, right? And it's a lot of things we leave out, right? Miss Creative and her comment. It says Grandpa was out there slanging peen to the community. Okay, cool. But when Grandpa was out there, so we could get into the secrets, right? Because when Grandpa was out there or Dad was out there slinging community, whatever, you know what he was? You know who he was slinging it with? He was slinging it with y'all moms and y'all grandmas.
They don't want to know that.
He was slinging it with your mom. And then think about it. When we talk about family secrets,
say what?
We put it on the man. But come on, talk about family secrets. Some of our grandpas married just some of your grandmas when they was pregnant already. Some of our grandparents, some of our grandmoms, some of our grandfathers knew that maybe a kid or two wasn't his within the relationship. But we're gonna put it on grandpa. But if we want to go back in those family secrets, we all know what was really going on. We just don't highlight it. So,
but that's the point, Nixon. The point is, it was a level of maturity back in the day, and so, and the reason I say that is because, and this is why I say it's nothing can make me, because I was taught by my grandfather on what a husband looks like. He set me down. He introduced me to my uncle I never met. He said, "Hey, you're a grown man now. This is your uncle. I had this outside the marriage. We don't talk to kids about this. Since you're a man, we're gonna have this conversation." I was 21 years old when we had this conversation. And so what I'm saying is, I hear a lot of people say this. I left the relationship because I was not happy. It wasn't any abuse. It wasn't any fighting. It wasn't none of that stuff. It was because they feelings got hurt. People are divorcing people because they feelings get hurt. And I just feel like that is not a reason to leave a relationship. Now, I get it. Somebody going across your head, that's a whole nother conversation. But I do not believe, I don't believe that is the reason most people are winning. When I look at these chat, they said, "Oh, he stepped out, I'm gone." But that shows that she ain't the same woman her grandma was.
Dumbass.
Thanos, what's your thoughts, bro? And then we're gonna go ahead. My man went out with the E sign. It's like mic drop. That threw me off. What's your thoughts on that thing, Thanos? There, we're gonna do closing.
Let me see. Where can I start? Because L Nixon be taking all my points. I'm gonna have to start going.
Hey, my bad. My bad.
Yo, Thanos, you gotta beat him to the punch, man.
Yeah, he taking all my points, and then
to be fair, bro. That's why I didn't really want both of y'all on, because I know how both of y'all on the same wavelength, bro. Like, hey, that's some strong conversations right there.
We got to work in teams, bro. We got.
That's the whole thing, man. Like, I'm all about, like, if the truth get out and it get out. My whole thing is, like, so many people be wanting to talk that the whole message get mixed because everybody be having something to say, and the whole message get missed because everybody just want to argue about something or have something to say, whether it's wrong or not. Yeah. So everything just sounding all crazy.
That's why I like over here, because I try so hard to keep it. Well, first of all, transparency is going to be on you. That's the individual. But I at least try to be the best moderator for just a conversation. All that long stroking, me, Poppy already know. Primal, shout out to Mika too. They already know. I don't do that long stroking crap. Heck, I even got a little video clip just to kill all that. So we got to have the conversation. People got to be heard.
Right. Yep.
So, sir.
But you definitely uh just to go back a little bit on the other conversation, you definitely can't stay in a relationship, in a marriage, when it's detrimental to your health, no matter how much you love the person. And a lot of times you still leaving with the same amount of love for them, but you have to let logic kick in, and as a man or a woman, knowing that you got to survive as a person for those kids. So there's no point if you stand in that house if you can't survive in the house. So you may have to go on the outside and get gather the troops together and try to fight and do a different approach.
Fair enough. Hold on, because we got because they're about to make dinner, and I'm not gonna mess up their time like that.
Right.
So I don't know if you, Stacey, have any final thoughts. I don't know what you heard, but Primal, final thoughts, anything with the cool Pac-Man shirt?
It's a good conversation. I think that there is a distinction between fear and respect. You can have one without necessarily having the other, and you can have both at the same time. So I would encourage people to find that balance, because I do believe there's a time for fear. I do believe there's a time for respect. Not everybody deserves your respect. Don't just give it away haphazardly. People should have to earn your respect. There is a basic fundamental human respect, but then there's another level to it as well. So that's what I would encourage people to do, is really vet people. We talk about vetting people all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't just give everybody the keys to the castle. They don't deserve that. They need to earn that. And you know what? Fear is a tool, just like respect is a tool. I think you should use both appropriately.
Fair enough. Stacey, you have anything, or are you just you're not gonna pass?
Since I'm here,
Sure.
I'll say that what's important is differentiating where your power lies. So get rid of love, get rid of fear, get rid of respect. Where does your power lie? Okay, so a boss, somebody who runs a country, somebody who runs a company, fear is important there. Fear has power. You have power in that capacity. In personal relationships with your kids, with your wife, with your husband, your spouse, where does the actual power lie? There's very little, when it comes to personal dynamics, I would say there's very little power in fear. Do you get the outcome you want? Yes, but you don't get any of the good, maybe, and it's not going to last, and something drastic is going to happen. Fear is a dangerous line to walk.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate you. Papi Blanco, what's your thoughts, bro?
What is it?
What's your final thoughts, sir?
Oh, good show, man. Good show. The end of the day, me personal, I like to be. I am loving my house with my family members, my kids, everybody that got sharing the same bloodline as me. But I want to be feared when I'm outside. So because I don't like people. That's why, and I don't want them to be talking to me like that. So it is a good show, bro. And keep it going. Everybody, please subscribe, man. Let's get this man to 500.
Yeah, man. I ain't greedy. I want that 1K, but I'm okay with 500. So I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah.
L. Nixon.
Good show as always. We don't all come here to agree, but we all find commonality, and we have great conversations. So that's pretty much what it's all about. Respect all you guys' insights, and it's always a good time and a good conversation. So thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. Damn, that look good.
I know, right? I'm about to cook now.
He make me so mad. You just don't know.
I grilled out earlier, and I'm hungry again.
I know, right?
Oh God, Deuce. Final thoughts, sir.
On fear and respect, I think my philosophy is fear isn't sustainable, and love is enduring, right? And if you apply that to all your relationships, relationships, work, and stuff like that, especially if you've ever been a manager or a supervisor or anything like that, fear gets you it gets you what you want in the short term, but it's not sustainable because those people won't be there for you, right? The second they're gonna leave. If the second is convenient for them to go, they're gonna go. People stay out of love, right? So you have to balance it. You have to figure out how to apply it within your love and within your relationships so that you can live a happy, healthy, sustainable life, right? So that's something you really have to like think about and really like meditate on and see how you're going to apply it within yourself and within your work relationships and personal relationships.
All right, fair enough. The Man Williams, my tag team partner from last night's stream. They did not like you, buddy. They did not like you.
I'm just normal now when I go places. I realized that.
Hey, but I was getting all the super chats. The hate was coming your way, but the super chats was coming in, for me. So I was like, hey, it is what it is. So I appreciate you, man.
So yeah, you know what? I was talking to this 85-year-old lady, and she told me the realest thing. She told me this right here. She said nobody ain't never left a good relationship for no cheating. She said they left, the relationship was bad in the first place. And when she said that, I literally been thinking about that. But she really believed that you're not going to leave. You're going to figure a way to work it out. And so with that being said, I think that we need to start trying to work in our relationship. We can't talk about the relationships that in the past. We got to talk about the current relationship we're in, or the relationships that we're planning on going in. I truly and honestly believe people need to have the mindset, I'm not going to enter this relationship unless I can endure everything, because we are human and we're not perfect. And the one thing that I notice is, as soon as a person have a moment where they're not perfect, that's when we decide that we want to counsel them and get rid of them. And I think that is not how a relationship works. You're going to have the good days, you're going to have the bad days. And what we got to start doing, we got to stop saying what's best for a parent to do to their kids, because they knew their kids. They know how their kids operate, and they know what's going to be the fruits of their kids being raised. So I strongly encourage people to stay out of other people's business, get into your business, because if you get into your business, guess what? You might have a better situation.
Amen.
That part. Well said, the man. Again, if y'all like all the conversations, if you like the perspective everybody had across the board, hey, even the entertainment value. We had good food here. Unfortunately, all of us did not eat it. But if you do appreciate the conversation, anything else, again, feel free to do the little donation. It doesn't matter. I appreciate you. Also, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. In about, I'm going to guess about 30 minutes, just to confirm timing, you will check and find me out on Peace Love, where we have a conversation over there. Also, Friday, special guest. So we're going to have a conversation. It's going to be about sex expectations. So I'm going to categorize in little chronicles subjects. So the whole thing is going to be sex expectations, whether it's with women or men. On the panel, one-on-one, have a conversation, and we'll have guests up, come on, and then, or we just have a one-on-one conversation about good topics. Saturday, still working on the Thanos. You're definitely welcome, brother, for that one, and also Nixon, and of course Deuce. If the rest of the guys have the time, the co-ed for Saturday, the conversation will be about child support. All right, so I definitely want to have that conversation. So we skipped it last week. Hell or high water. I'm gonna try to have that conversation for this Saturday. So I know we had some ladies last week was sick. Somebody had pre-scheduled, and this is on the lady side, so I'm holding them accountable. So fortunately, hopefully they feeling healthy and better this time, so they can come on the board and have the conversation for this Saturday for child support. What is the topic with child support? Hey, they're saying the system is corrupted. Okay, if the system is out, how are we gonna replace it? Nobody seemed like they had the answer on these on the panels. They just nitpicking at stuff. So we're gonna have that conversation and give solution-based ideas. Also, to a good friend of mine that was had a conversation about their child being bullied and abused. Not doxing or calling the person name out, but they chose to, at the end of the day, they chose to remove their child at the home and homeschool them. Was that the best idea for them? I don't know, but you can check that content there. We had the conversation about school bullying. So thank y'all. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a donation. It helps. I want to stay.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate this, I'll always show up. I
don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**.